Hello, everyone. This is Motel A&M. I'm Michael, joined with.
Alex.
It's a podcast where we talk about everything and anything.
So check yourself into your room and enjoy your stay.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for following us along with our journey. I'd like to do a quick announcement that our social media pages on Instagram and Twitter _Motel A&M, where you can DM us your submissions, questions, and stuff you want us to talk about. We'd love to have you guys on here and be more interactive with us.
Also, we made a YouTube channel, and since the podcast is now live with the video, so we're gonna be uploading all the old podcasts, and we're gonna start doing video podcasts. I know some people do enjoy that.
Yeah, so you guys can see our ugly mugs.
I don't even like looking at my mug now.
Can I just say something?
Go ahead, man.
Y'all be killing it. I didn't expect us to get anywhere near the support that we have been getting. We launched our technically like promotion of the podcast on Monday, which was yesterday, and within 24 hours it's exploded, and we're completely blown away by the support. So thank you to everybody. It's been super exciting, and I do want to do this more.
It's been overwhelming to like wake up and you're like, who's listened to this 61, 81 times?
Yeah, the numbers are just jumping. So far we have Anchor, Spotify. Spotify was lagging for a while. I don't know if I told you. I thought users weren't using Spotify, and then out of nowhere, bam, we had like an increase of 40 listeners in like a couple hours. Of like, oh my goodness, that is wild to like see. I thought I actually broke Anchor because the numbers weren't updating at all. Not that we're like caring about the numbers, but it's kind of nice to see like these stats go up. And I even messaged Alex, like, I think Anchor's broken, and he's like, why? I'm like, I haven't had a refresh in like 4 hours, and literally within like the next 30 minutes, it it literally like doubled in listeners. So that's super cool. Thank you guys all so much.
It's just so awesome to see like people are actually taking an interest to it, because people have been waiting for the episodes now. They're like, when's the next one coming out? When's episode 5 coming out? And we know this is going to be a special one for us because we have so many topics to talk about. We want to make it longer. We have the videos going up. It's going to be a good episode.
Not just people waiting to listen, but we have people already wanting to be on the show, and we do have a guest lined up. Most likely, maybe next week, we'll have our first guest, and then after that, we're going to go ahead and start incorporating more guests into our episodes. So hopefully that's something to look forward for you guys and get your feedback on that.
Should we get started today, Mike?
Yeah. I just want to talk quickly about the last 4 episodes. How wild has it been recording and editing? And real quick shout out to you, Alex. I wanted to thank you for all the editing that you've been doing for both of us. And I, sometimes you could put something out there and then I'm like, how about we do it this way instead? And then you're like so good to edit it. And it's really like good to have someone like you to work with. So thank you for all your work.
I wouldn't do it if I couldn't handle it, or I would have quit. I would have walked out the door on the first episode.
Another thing too, our audio files are right now, the past 4 episodes have been pretty good actually. I'm actually really shocked that we haven't ran into any errors until today. But like everything that we introduce new, you should always expect just a little bit of problems. But all the audio that you guys listen to have been raw. It's all been shot on one take, no editing out. It's there. It's out there. Raw video.
One shot with bloopers and coughs.
Yeah, and so I don't know if you've listened to all the last 4 episodes. I'm pretty sure you have. But isn't it wild to like, I don't want to say production value, but like how well we've received the feedback and actually listen to what people are saying and then improving on that. And so like you'll see from episode 1 to episode 2 the mic quality increase by a whole yard.
Especially mine.
Yeah, the first episode, like I said, we weren't even like going to upload that anywhere, and I was so proud of it. He was so proud of it. We're like, let's just do it. Let's put it up, and we did. And I'm happy that we got to do that because it's been so fun.
Speaking on that, just the technical difficulties we had today, like how we have to switch up everything on the spot just to make this go out.
Yeah. But like, I'm glad that we're able to like think on our feet, and I think a lot of people would have seen that as a like a sign, like to stop. Like, no, let's not record today, because when you're dealing with technical difficulties, like it can become bothersome and annoying. And for us to just power through it and be patient, like it says a lot about like our work ethics is how much we actually care about doing this podcast. I've been waiting to do it since yesterday, and so that's what I want to
That's all we really wanted to do now.
do. Yeah, it would be awesome to just do this full time, but right now we're still talking about the schedule of the uploading. So when we get a more uh schedule uploaded, I guess, we'll go ahead and share that with everyone who's listening. So thank you for being patient.
I want to kind of talk about something else, Mike. I have
That's up. Mm,
a story about when we used to work together.
mm-hmm. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Do you remember? Well, I'll just say it. We were working together. It was during lunchtime, and we work at a fast food where breakfast is all day. So we're like hustling, we're making the lunch rush type of food, and then you see a breakfast order pop up, and you're like, God damn it! I gotta go back there and gotta go heat everything up from the morning. So you gotta go. It was a biscuit order, so I had to go get a biscuit. So and during this time, I was known to be like a breakfast person. So we just like heat it up real quick, be like, get it out, let's get it out of here, let's keep, because we would get rushes real quick. So I was only gonna put that biscuit in there for 22 seconds just to heat it up. My man, I put it in there for 2 minutes. I literally forgot about it because me and Mike were hustling so much.
I don't know if you mentioned this, but these microwaves were not like your
Oh,
typical
they're
house microwaves.
they're
They're
industrial.
conventional, yeah, like industrial. So like a minute in one of these microwaves is like 20 minutes. I'm not even exaggerating. You have to be very careful about the time.
It's like a fucking bomb in there.
So
So
what
take in mind,
happened?
this little biscuit was in there for almost 2 minutes. It caught fire. It had nowhere else to go, so it caught fire. So our general manager was there, and she started freaking out because we all know, like, if the smoke detectors catch it, that whole place is gonna get flooded, and we're gonna get shut down.
Yeah,
So
very
she's like,
expensive.
panicking, like fanning it with like baking tray. She's like, "Everyone, help! Get over here!" And me and Mike were just making food, and then I lean over to Mike. I'm like, "Bro, I think that was me."
Yeah, dude. I I wasn't gonna wrap my head out, so I'm like, let's just keep
I
making
was like,
food.
just keep pushing the big chickens out. Come on, just
Yep, let's just do it. Let's just do it.
no one
And
fessed up.
yeah, well, previously the day before that, another individual did that as well.
Oh
So that
yeah,
was the second day. So our GM was probably like, not happy that we had to do that the second day. It would be funny if I get a message from our old GM and she's like, "That's who did it. This is the first individual who did it."
oh man. I
She
hope
could
she
be
doesn't
listening.
remember it. I hope she doesn't
Oh, I'm
remember.
pretty sure she does. I remember that day very clearly, very clearly.
That was so funny.
Uh, so real quick, to follow up on last week's episode, I don't know if I spoke briefly on it because I didn't want to speak too much on it because I didn't have all the facts right. The intimidation tactic used by the military,
Hmm.
that one is going to be kind of yeeted out the window.
Ye-
Yeah. So the intimidation tactic is actually known as the shark intimidation and is intended to establish authority and weed out the weak. It will be replaced by the new idea called the first 100 yards. It's going to be used more physically to teach soldiers how to deal with stress more related to combat and encourage more team building exercises. So what that means is not going to be someone yelling in your face as much. And this was just in the army. So far that I read, can't even talk to him. Like I have like a mini stroke. But I just want to follow that for anybody else that's interested, because that's kind of interesting. Like what we talked about, how we have to be more careful about how we approach things. Very sensitive events are happening, or just in general life. Like we can't just rush to the immediate like aggressive side of the situation or like the solution, and now things have to be worked out and planned a little different and accordingly.
That brings me back to what we were talking about Gordon Ramsay, like the type of way he teaches, to
Mm-hmm.
where he like yells at him to like, I don't know if he wants to weed out the weak too, but like just to be able to handle it in general.
Yeah, I mean that it's like pretty much like on par with that, and even he says, uh, I you mentioned it as well that his mentors were a lot harder than he was on
Yeah.
the new generation of cooks, and between the shows, he's a lot harder between the contestants. So that's something to see, and I wonder in the next 10 to 5 years, because stuff like this is always like changing constantly how we address situations. So it'd be interesting to see where we go with this type of material.
Well, what do you think on it? Like, do you think it's a good move, or do you feel like we
Mm,
should probably like yell at people a little bit to like I don't know, like bold up a little bit?
it's a hard kind of like topic because you don't want to come off as like an aggressive individual, because I feel like we all do need like someone who's hard on us to push us
Mm-hmm.
to our limits and even further beyond our limits. And especially in the military, regardless if you're, at headquarters working on uh, paperwork, or if you're like actually in the field, like both situations can have their own type of stress. And I feel like we as humans should be able to handle it. Working in the field that I'm in, I've learned to handle lots of stress, and some of it was kind of through aggressive teaching, but that's because of the situations we were in. It was life or death, and people have to be. They can't be like, well, I don't know, do I need this to save this person's? Like, they'll be like, get it for me now. Oh, like, and it does come off aggressive, but in that situation, and I'm pretty sure in their own situations, it's very important that they need someone like that. So
It's
like a hard ass on them.
it's funny you say that because I feel like where we worked at, it was kind of the same way. Like if we don't get food out, you know, we get
Mm,
backed up really hard.
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
like someone that wouldn't really, care for if food's going out fast or not, you get backed up real quick, and then it just becomes a hassle like the whole day.
yeah. And here's one thing I've learned: you don't mess with people's food.
Oh
They get
yeah. Oh,
real pissed off.
that's
you
something
don't
I've
you
learned.
don't mess around with people's food or money,
Oh,
and
the exact change.
yeah, and stuff like that. I'm really glad I was able to work there. It taught me how to deal with really difficult situations and uncomfortable situations, and I've been able to like use the those situations and the solutions that I found for them, like now as I grow older and just grow as an individual. Like I know I can't, and I never really like snapped at a customer, but I've had like a few confrontations where customers were like extremely rude, and I could have been on World Star, but I chose not to. I was like, that's not the way we handle things, and it shouldn't be the way. So with me, like it's 50-50. Like I do know we need someone who in our lives to be hard on us, and I do feel like we need someone who's kind of more like not passive, but understands the situation and
Yeah.
understands like people who are getting yelled at might not always be able to handle the situation, think properly, and they just it just stresses them out even more. And to have someone like that in your life, I think, is also very important too.
That goes back to you have to be very patient with those people, especially. And I feel like at well, I don't want to say where we worked at. I almost did. Where we worked at, we had a good like bunch of like people who would, were saying were very more controlling of the situation,
Hmm.
especially the morning people. I'm pretty sure you know who I'm talking about. And then we
Hmm.
had very passive people like in the middle of the day. So
Hmm.
like we had a lot of situations where some people didn't want to do something. You'd be like, "Oh, we gotta send this guy. Go."
Yeah,
Like something that would happen out in the lobby or something.
yeah. Those days are always fun. I do have a lot of fun stories. I'll quickly share one too, and this is probably the one that I it still makes me laugh because it was just so like unexpected.
Oh, I think I know
It
which one you're
was
gonna say.
it it was it was like a rainy day, and we when you work in fast food, especially with like a big name, uh, things tend to get pretty hectic and busy. But this wasn't even like focused on the service or anything else like that. This was focused on one individual running through. Like you see when like kids like poop their pants and they walk like super like their legs are always wide and they're not, they're like walking like little like crabmen. This this one guy walked through here and he was like, and he was like holding his back. He's like, he's like, where's the bathroom? And I was like, right here. And he like slammed it open. It was the funniest thing I witnessed because I'm just sitting there and I'm filling out, the daily chart that we had to do. And I look over and this guy just runs like, like, I don't know if he made it. I hope he made it because that would have been a really bad
Oh
mess
man.
to clean up. I know you only closed like towards the end
Hmm.
of your first run with them, but did you ever like close counter
I never
or
closed count. I was gonna ask you that too because I
no?
remember you were asking me.
Yeah, so closing counter, oh man,
That
those
sucks.
restrooms,
They.
the restrooms,
It's pretty much everything that hasn't been cleaned after 1 p.m.
yeah. If you're
for
not
the
on
rest of the
it,
day.
then things could get pretty bad. And I remember like some nights I would go in and it was just filthy. The toilet paper's everywhere. There's poop on the side. There's poop on the walls. I was like, oh, I gotta clean
Sometimes
this up.
graffiti.
The worst one is when a kid pukes in the play center,
Oh my god.
or if they like poop their pants. Like I remember one time, a toddler had like pooped his pants and he like went down the slide. So there was a streak of just crap like on the slide, and they're like, "How much?" Like I remember too, the manager on duty was like, "How many?" And I'm not gonna say what they gave me, but they're like, "How many incentives would it take for you to clean that? Because no one else wants to clean it, and you're the newest person." I was like,
I was gonna say.
how about like 5? And they're like, done. And
Oh.
I went to clean it, and it was a putrid smell. Um, and because it sits there in the heat from like after 5 p.m. till 1 a.m. in the morning, and it's just bad. I
um.
had There's lots of stories I could tell about that place.
I do want to do one quick story because I do remember one that you mentioned right now.
Hmm.
I do want to mention whenever you're the new person there, seniority rules in that place so much.
Oh yeah,
So when you're the new person, you have to go do all the dirty work. Oh, there's poop over there. Oh man, sucks for the new guy.
looking for the new guy.
So
Very. I feel like now I haven't heard stuff like that happening, but for sure, like back in our heyday over there, like it was very senior style management. It's not a bad thing. It teaches like the younger people like respect, because I mean they are your boss. You kind of do have to listen to them.
I do remember one time I was working, and this lady came up to lobby and she was like, "Someone just puked all over playland and some." And I'm like, so I told my manager. They're like, "Oh, you're up." I'm like, "No!" And I swear, this kid did like, he came down the slide, went to the table, and then I guess I don't know what happened, but then it like looped back. So I'm assuming they're like, "Get out of here! What are you doing?" So then they
Oh.
like loop back, and then I'm like, "Why? Why are you like this?" And I guess they puked on the slide too. So we got we got innovative, and we started we started pouring water from the top of the slide.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I should have done that. I literally went down with like 10 rags and I was just like wiping it, and I had to throw of
Oh,
course I threw the rags away, but like it was real bad. Who knows, the baby could have had C diff.
that
If you
that
C
was
diff
a
is
good
not
thing.
good.
Mike, we do remember that bathroom in there though.
Mm. What? Oh, the the guest one kind of.
Yeah,
That was
that
the
was
only
our
one I
that
went
was our
to
baby.
because you get privacy. You don't have someone on the next stall pooping their life out or like crying. I mean, in the men's restroom, we didn't really have that either.
Nah.
But we did have people come in and come out, and they were kind of sketchy. Like you'd be doing your thing, and then like some shirtless guy comes in, and like starts beating his chest. And you're like, oh, I
Or
gotta
like trying to
hurry this
open
up.
it.
Yeah, I've had those before. It's not fun. It's not comfortable either. Real quick, this episode I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but this episode might run a bit longer than an hour, just because it's a very special episode for both of us, and we do want to leave lots of room for us to talk. So, just be aware. This is a little bit longer than usual, but who knows? Maybe it might be the same. It's whatever the cookie crumbles.
All All right, Mike. So we've been talking about fast food. Let's say what's your go-to fast food?
Um,
Because I know you asked this the other day. I wanted to get your
I
take on it.
did. I like In-N-Out.
Mm.
I know if I go to In-N-Out, I'm always gonna get to choose between the three things that they have and nothing more. It's a quick decision, and the food's always good. No matter how long the line is, they seem to just move it real quick. As far as I've had these discussions before, but I think In-N-Out's constantly been one that always at the top, no matter what. What about you?
McDonald's.
McDonald's?
It's just like that go-to. You're just like, yeah. Do I want like
It's like
this?
it's like a safe
Yeah, you're just
haven.
like, yeah. What if it's good or not? I'll eat it, kind of thing.
You know, it used to be McDonald's, but after high school and kind of growing up, like I've started going out and traveling outside of our area. And um, I've had bad experiences with McDonald's outside, and not just McDonald's, but like any other place. Like it's like they see me, they're like, "I don't like that man. We're gonna mess up his order. Mess his order up."
That one, he knows what he's doing. Mess it up.
Yeah, I remember I went to Bakersfield and I was trying to get like some sandwich, but I told him like, no this, no that, no this, no that. I'm pretty picky, and I'm sorry for being picky. Um, but they pretty much gave me with everything extra, and I was like, really?
I
I specifically asked no for this. Like, what if I had an allergy to this? Like, I could have died, but
mm.
luckily I don't. Kind of like that time we went to a restaurant here in town, and I said light veggies, and this man gave me extra veggies, and I said I brought the problem to his attention, and he's like, "Oh, you want a light veggies?" I was like, "Yeah," and he goes, "All right," and he
Oh,
just walks away.
he's like,
Just doesn't
oh,
even fix it. I was like, "Oh man,
where's your customer
You're...
service at?
yeah." In
I
the spirit, sorry, go ahead.
I did want to say like I do feel like when we go out of town, they do mess up more when it comes to
Hmm.
fast food.
Maybe because here they know us.
I don't know, but I do tend to get orders wrong too when I go out of town. I don't know.
And I don't like it. It kind of like, you know, especially if you're in an area where places are a little bit more expensive than usual,
Yeah.
and you spend money on like something that usually costs like $2 here. It's like $4 or $5 there. It's like,
Why?
why why? It makes no sense. I was about to say, in the spirit of Halloween, we talked about a couple of killers from the last episodes and like some of our favorite Halloween movies, but I do not endorse this, but because, like I said, in the spirit of Halloween, I wonder if anybody else has ever heard of the elevator game. Have you
Ooh.
heard of that?
Yeah, you did tell me about it. It
Yeah.
was it's
Okay, so real quick, it originated in Korea. The elevator game is a ritual game that is said to give the players access to another world. Now, please don't do this anywhere. I'm not going to tell you how, but this is a simple game that thrill-seeking people played until its popularity and sinister. Dude, I cannot talk today.
you got it, buddy. Come
Sinister
on.
Aurora boosted due to the death of Eliza Lamb. I don't know if anybody's ever heard about her. She was a very famous case that was like on BuzzFeed and Crime Unsolved and stuff like that. She was found dead in a water tank of the Cecil Hotel in downtown LA after being reported missing for a month. Later on, video footage went viral of her displaying strange behaviors on an elevator, hiding in the elevator, talking and walking in and out of the elevator. People began to make theories of her death, which included the elevator game. That's all I'm about to say about this. I'm not going to say anything else because I don't want people to like go do that. But I think it's also like very interesting. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we're talking about the urban legends. I think it was last episode.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's just a creepy pasta or not, or just something to read about. But I wouldn't endorse. I wouldn't try it at all. Do
Mm-mm.
not go try this.
No, no. I watched videos of people trying it, but of course, like when you go looking for stuff, like I said, like you're not going to get what you look for. And it just kind of brings like the skepticalism and all that fun stuff that comes with Halloween. Halloween's like such a like I love Halloween, dude. I don't know if I've expressed that yet, but Halloween month is probably like becoming
Absolutely.
my favorite. Thanksgiving was at the top, but after you get a little older and
You
you
can't eat as
can't
much.
eat as much because you get a belly. Get a belly. You don't want that. You got to take care of yourself. So Halloween's like a really fun, and there's so much activities to do around the Halloween time too.
Yes, sir. I didn't want to say. It does bring up that skepticism of like if things are real or not, but please, probably do not try it.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, that is wild.
Shh, shush, 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 shush.
Real quick, dude. To kind of not to throw Halloween in the back, but you didn't answer your question. That you had asked me about the bucket list. Kind of want we. I think the listeners kind of want to know more about your bucket list.
What listeners? Tell me, who are they?
I can't say their names publicly, but they were like, Alex didn't answer his bucket list.
Um, well, I did say going. I guess did that count like a roller coaster? No, not really, huh? Probably just a ride, adrenaline rush, I could say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do for some weird reason because I'm really into cars. I do want to like drive a car like around a racetrack.
Mm-hmm.
I did want to do that before with my old car. I don't know. I feel like I want to go skydiving, but then I'm like, might have a heart attack coming down.
Yeah, it's not. It's not for the weak, but I mean, like, it's also something like if we're able to do it, like, it would be super cool to
Mm-hmm.
do. Maybe for like I don't know, million viewers on YouTube.
Hey,
Hunt skydive.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
down.
If we get that far, yeah.
If we ever get that far, yeah. I don't think we will. So I'm okay making that type of bet.
I don't know what else. I haven't really like put a thought into a bucket list, but might we'll get back to it on the next one, and I'll make one. How about that?
Hmm. Like questions like this always kind of like make me laugh because whenever you're put on the spot for
You
anything,
don't know.
like the whole like everything like you don't know. Yeah, it just disappears from your brain. You're like, what do I
No.
what?
Just say here. That's a bucket.
Yeah. Dude, bucket lists are also pretty cool. Let us know, listeners. Let us know if there's any kind of like unique bucket lists. Like I don't know, what would you consider unique? Skateboarding down a San Francisco hill. That's
Oh,
pretty unique.
I was gonna say
I mean,
travel to
I
a
wouldn't
different
do that.
country.
Yeah, that's cool too. Yeah, yeah. I would definitely do that. We've always wanted to do that. Which brings me to the next topic. I'm glad you said that. Road trips.
Road trips.
We went on a little road trip, but no, it's not like a grand like where you would see Niagara Falls or something.
Mm-hmm.
But we went to a different town, and whenever me and Alex ride together, we're singing Childish Gambino half the time. Karaoke,
All the time.
yeah, all the time. So like, do you have any special road trips that you remember from when you were a kid, or even like the past couple years?
Um, the road trips I would go on would always be with my family. We would. I have family up in Washington, so we it's like an 18-hour trip,
Mm.
including with pee stops and snack stops.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd have to leave early in the morning. So those are always fun. Just sitting in a car, not being able to do anything, and just seeing Oregon with all the trees, and
Mm-hmm.
we're in the middle of California, so it still takes a while to get up north.
Yeah.
Um, Road trips. L.A. was always kind of fun because I have family down there too. But other than that, it's not. Oh well, Vegas. We'd always used to drive to Vegas, but
Vegas.
I wasn't to the age where I could gamble yet. So it's
So
just like.
is there anything that like makes a road trip special?
The people with you go with.
The people, yeah. For me, it's the food. We have to have good food.
Oh yeah, that too.
If we don't have good food, the road trip was a waste. Any
Uh,
planned road trips for the future?
we have talked about going to Arizona because I know you've been there. I do want to go out there because I do have a friend out there that I've met on the internet actually.
Hmm.
That I presented to you too, and he's a really cool dude. That
Yeah,
would be really nice to meet him.
I've
Um,
been wanting to go on like a spontaneous road trip with the guys. Just
but we broke,
don't speak for me. No, I'm
and we
kidding.
have
I'm
no
broke.
life.
I'm broke too. I'm very broke.
um, I would like to. Well, you were saying Montana. Like, I'd be down to go on a road trip to Montana.
Dude, like Amtrak, man. I know like people hate on Amtrak sometimes, but like I would be down just to try it for like once or twice. Go out of state on Amtrak, and I mean, there's like trains you could sleep on, or like carts that you could sleep on, so you're not constantly like in that one seat. But I mean, it would be super cool to experience with you guys, just like some spontaneous road trip. Like, hey man, what are you doing tomorrow? Let's go to Oregon, or something like that.
I do want to go up to where my brother's at because he's always saying that it's really nice up there.
hmm
Um,
I've heard that it's super nice. From his snaps I've only seen, it looks super pretty,
yeah.
beautiful for sure.
The I don't know how I forgot, but us going to San Fran.
hmm
I don't know if those count as road trips, but
They
whenever
do.
we go,
Anything outside the 45-minute mark is a road trip.
when we go, all we pretty much do is eat. It's literally
Eat.
eat, walk it off, go eat again, drive
Yeah,
somewhere else and go eat.
I mean, like we get the views and everything, but once you've gone to like, especially the Bay, as many times as we do, it's like it's kind of like hard to find something that's nice and sightseeing wise. And so we'll revisit places, kind of hang out, chill, talk, and then we're like, all right, who's ready to eat? And so we start that adventure. And I liked when we went to Goodwill and we walked to
Yeah.
the beach. That was fun,
When
and
after
it was a long walk, but like
should we
after we had
shout
the
out?
fun.
Should we shout out Kevin's pho?
I mean, you already did. Go ahead. I think
Kevin's
his
pho. Well, you guys
I
found
think
it
it's
on
like
accident.
Kevin. It's Kevin's Noodle House 2, I think. I'm not entirely
He
sure
was
the
a
name.
very generic name.
Yeah, it's probably like one of the only fuzz that I actually will travel to, because every time we go there, we eat it. I think the last time I went to San Fran was the first time I didn't eat it, and I actually had the taqueria that we found
mm.
on the last trip, and I still can't believe. A little backstory: we had Kevin's noodles, and we just walked to a dessert place, and I believe after we walked there, we were coming out, and were we walking somewhere else, or were we just walking back to the car?
We were walking back to the car because we went to go get ice cream,
And
and
this, go ahead, I'll let you finish.
we were we literally saw this place across. It's like hole in the wall place, and we're like, how did we not see that Mexican place there?
No, but like we didn't just see it, dude. It smelled
Oh
amazing,
yeah,
and the last time I
from
went,
across the street.
the aroma was just so amazing, man. And I think I looked at Alex or my sister, and I was like, "You ain't down," and they looked at me and they're like, "You ain't down," and so we all like looked at each other. And by the time we get to like the last person, we just crossed the street, went in. I had a few. I think I had tacos. You had a burrito. You actually took one home too because it was
Yeah.
so good. I would definitely recommend that place. Maybe we'll put like a little post of things we recommend to eat in San Fran or something.
Uh, that good walk from all the way to the beach. Just like
Mm,
it just calmed you down, and then we got to chill
the
on the
sunset.
beach. Yeah.
Sunset was nice, dude. It was like it was perfect weather, pretty much. The sun, the weather, the friends, the food. I think we went to the pier too after that, did we?
Yeah, I was gonna say I do
We
remember
Ubered.
that day we it was a different time, but when we went for my birthday,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and then well, Jail got to go. Another shout out for Jail.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, he was going to school there, and that was the first time we had gone. Oh, I don't know if you had gone on that boat ride under the Golden Gate.
No, that was the first one. That was the first time, dude.
That was cool.
That was cool. Super windy, super cold, but it pretty much like be any of the other times that we had gone, because we
Hmm.
were just like just chilling on the beach, and then we chilled on the boat ride and got to see Alcatraz, and we went under the bridge, right?
Yeah, we
We went
went
like
under the
under and
bridge.
around.
Yeah.
Super fun. I would do it again. And tickets weren't that expensive.
No, I think it was like $30 or something
Yeah, they were
for
super
like
cheap.
an hour.
Yeah, highly
Then
recommend a boat ride.
I do like going to the beach. Oh, the last time we went for your brother-in-law's birthday, we fell
Mm-hmm.
asleep in the park for a good hour, pretty
Yeah,
much.
so after, first of all, we have to wake up early to go to the bay. Then you have to deal with all the traffic. And then you have to decide if we want to eat or not on the way there, or just wait till we get there. And I think we had eaten before. And so being sleepy, being kind of not frustrated, but tired and just done with traffic. And then we probably ate as soon as we got there. I was already ready for bed. And I was like, I need a nap. So we went to a park by the Painted Ladies,
Yeah.
if anybody knows that. It's like the full house type looking houses. And we took a nap there for about maybe an hour. Super. re-energized, and we were able to keep going. And people don't really think about naps. Naps are underrated, especially when you're traveling. Like it's good to take like a nap in the car and just relax, kind of get re-energized because you're on the road for most of the day. The only times you stop is for an attraction or when you want to eat, and it's not like you could just chill out there and not do anything. So, recommend next time take a nap.
Yeah, it sucked for the driver when I drove back. Everyone knocked out.
Yeah, that's after a full day of eating, man. Like I said, man. Like once I'm in a car, if I'm not driving, it's real hard for me to sleep. But I've actually been working on that, so I'm hoping the next time we go on a road trip together, I'll prove it to you. I can stay up the whole time.
Gonna have to put you in the co-pilot seat so you could say.
Co-pilot, co-pilot award 2020, 2021 maybe. Do you think things places are gonna open up anytime soon? I mean, we're starting to see that places are kind of opening up, but I think a couple months ago they actually opened up and then they closed right back, like
Yeah.
within the month.
Well, that's what happened here. What did the governor say that everything was ready, and then he said that like, well, not even a week or two later, like everything had to be shut down again because
Mm-hmm.
people weren't following procedures right. And I think that's what it comes down to: people not being too careful with it,
Mm-hmm.
and it becomes that thing where it's like, well, if you're not careful, it's gonna come back like that because it,
Yeah,
you know.
I'm ready. I'm
I'm
ready
ready
for more
to.
Korean barbecue, dude.
You okay?
Literally.
So I'm gonna be a little nerd right now, but I was so excited when WWE announced WrestleMania was gonna be in LA.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dude, I have my money ready. I'm gonna take out a loan. I don't care. I'm not missing this. It's in LA. I missed
Yeah.
one that was in San Fran, so I'm like, I'm not missing this one. But now, like, literally once COVID hit, I'm like, well, I'm really hoping it still comes out because I
You
want.
think they're gonna like follow precautions or like fill the whole stadium up
I don't know
or
because
arena?
WWE is a big thing around the world, and when WrestleMania comes around, people will come from across the globe just to watch, and they'll fill up wherever they're at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking like five, almost six digits.
Well, you've actually gone to one event, right?
I've
You've
gone,
already gone.
yeah, to one in San Jose, but it's not, massive. It's probably like 40,000.
Yeah. How
But
was that? Like, how'd you like the experience and
dude,
everything?
the first time
How?
I went to one, it was a pay per view, so it's like the best matches of the month.
Uh huh.
So it's just like you get to see your favorite wrestlers. You get that whole wrestling experience. Like this isn't like TV. Like you hear all the hits.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so different, but it's so exciting as a wrestling fan.
So, is there an how like different? Because I mean, we have a group of people, especially in my household, where people are like, "Why do you want to go when you can just watch it here?" But then I have to like explain like it's different to see it live than it is to see it on TV. And of course, like with COVID happening, like I think like a lot of like K-pop uh bands. And the only reason why I know this is because like we have friends that we used to work with that I'm
Yeah,
still
yeah.
friends with, and they post on their stories that they're
They were watching
all
it.
like yeah they were watching it like live, and so like I wonder how the experience like changes for them, especially now during COVID times.
Well, you went to Coachella.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not the same as listening to music as seeing that performer
Mm-hmm.
live. It's not. It's a whole different experience. To the point,
Regardless.
yeah. Like it doesn't like WWE. I know it's fake, but it's the story that they put on, and I mean they can't fake picking up a body.
Mm-hmm.
They have to like put in the work for all that,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. That's what I like about it, and you're always like hooked to something. Who's gonna be champion, or who's gonna win this one?
It's like a live like I mean it is a live show.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's always that element of surprise that something might happen or this and that, or
Yeah.
the guy you're rooting for might get a push to be champion. I don't know. It's just what excites me, and I grew up with it since I was like 6.
Dang. So you've been watching for like a long
Oh
time.
yeah.
I never really got into wrestling as a kid. Even now, like I'll watch it, but I don't know. I'm not about that life.
I think I could switch. I think I could change your mind if you go to an event. It's different.
Yeah,
It's a
maybe in
different.
an event.
It's a different feeling for sure.
Because I'm a firm believer. Like if you go to something live and then it could be something that you're either really interested in or not even really interested in. The live effect could, change anybody's mind. Sorry, not live. So I'd
but
be open to that. I think I'd be open.
what I was gonna say, I think audiences play a big part in it too, especially in
Hmm.
like WWE. Or I'll get onto your Coachella thing.
Hmm.
Um, you know, the wrestlers are brought up to either get cheered or booed,
Hmm.
but it's always, you know, how we used to say at our job, like the customer's always right. Same thing
Yeah.
in here. It'd be like, they know what's right. The
Yeah.
the the person
The
knows right.
audience.
Yeah. So you sometimes the company would like push someone and be like, "Nah, we don't want that guy. Boo him. Boo that guy." You
That
know.
man.
So it comes to the point where you're just like you have to get involved with it. Like you make chants, you do all this and that. And I think that's what they go on for the characters at WWE. But with your
Hmm.
Coachella thing, I was really upset that your crowd didn't get more into watching Childish Gambino.
Yeah. I.
Because
You know.
I know he was ready to like encore hard, because I know he's a really good performer.
Yeah. And so like being there, I loved it because the crowd, the people that I was with, and um, who surrounded us, like I didn't know like some of these people, but they
Mm-hmm.
were like super nice, super really nice people, um, and friendly. And so being there with them, and we were the people like in that little like pocket. I think that's where like the really like hardcore fans were because we sat through three performances just to see him, three or four. And I was like, I am not losing this spot. Like,
Front
this
row.
is who I wanted to see. This is, yeah, we were, I mean, you seen how close I was. I was arms reach away from this man. And so, like I said, like being in that pocket, I didn't notice it until I go back and Alex had mentioned it to me. And then I saw what he was talking about. Like, my pocket was super excited, and everybody else was kind of like,
Meh.
not, yeah, they weren't really into it. I was like, how could you not be into this performance? Like, it was so cool. Like, especially when he first came out, and we were thinking he was gonna come out like uh I think like right in front of us, but he was actually already at the end of the
Yeah.
the catwalk pretty much singing with the chorus. I was like, this is amazing. Like goosebumps were all over. I had a blast. But at the end of the show, I was reading on Reddit that night that he was gonna do a pretty much like an encore, but the crowd was into it. And what I remember reading was the like producer, the sound producer came out and he was kind of looking around, and then he just see him do the just cut it. And so after I had read that, I was like, I was kind of pissed off. I was like, man. And the song that people were speculating that he was going to play was Telegraph Hill or
Mm-hmm.
Telegraph.
Telegraph Avenue.
And that, yeah, and that's one of my favorite songs from him. And to see that one live would have been just probably would have cried.
He did
I
he
love
did
it.
encore that one for us in Oakland.
And that was the same year that you had, or that was like the previous, like probably like the same tour time
Yeah,
frame, right?
so I was scheduled for September. Dude, think in mind, I bought these tickets in like March, and I was like, I'm so hyped for this. Like, I
Hmm.
asked my parents, I'm like, I don't care, put it on your credit card, I'll pay you. Just I want these tickets, I don't want anyone to take
Yeah.
these tickets. So me and my brother bought them, and we paid him off. And then he breaks his foot like a week before our concert. So I'm like, dude, really? I've been waiting 6 months. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. So then they changed it to December, and I guess it was really worth the wait because that was a hell of a performance and a
Hell of a
concert.
show.
Um,
I think I was, yeah, I think you had even offered to take me, but at the time I was in school and I was like, I don't know, like if I'm gonna have an exam that day, and it was probably the week. I think I did regret. Well, for sure I did regret going, but I was glad that I said no because I think that week I had finals. I had like two finals to do, and I was already stressing enough, and
yeah,
so I missed a big opportunity to see him, but
you
I
got to
kind
see
of
him at
made up for it.
Coachella.
Coachella with like a million other people. It was really fun. If you guys haven't gone to Coachella, I recommend it. This year's lineup, I don't know. What do you think about the lineup this year? Have
I
you even
haven't.
looked at it?
No, no, no. Are they gonna
So
have it?
they actually asked a lot of the artists to come back next year for 2021,
Mm-hmm.
and I was thinking about going because it's a real fun experience, but it's also like I don't know, call me a grandpa, but like I kind of get tired after a long day, and when you're out in the sun, like, and that heat too is not fun. Like the sun's just like just blaring on you, and the waters are like $14 a pop, and you're like, oh god, like it's hot. And you're so close to people too. So, I mean, I would love for them to play. Um, but I think I'm gonna wait to see
Do
what they're gonna do about precautions for
Do
COVID.
you think they should do what artists have been doing, like live streaming it?
No,
Have their own stage and then just live stream it.
I'm not sure, man, because that like
I know
kind
to
of like
like an
kills the whole Coachella
yeah,
experience, being there in person and being able to see whoever you want to see. That's actually where I found like another one of my bands that I love to listen to. It was by accident. So I mean, it would be super cool to do that, but I don't think they would do that because
but
they want people to experience it in person.
I'm pretty sure you can attest to Coachella has thousands of people there.
Coachella,
Coachella.
Coachella. I went on that famous like tower, the
Hmm.
World Tower, and going up it, even on the Ferris wheel, everyone looks like ants, and it's just wild because it's like you don't. I can't even like explain. Like, there's so many people there. They all look like little tiny ants just walking around, and I guess I just didn't expect that many people to look like that. And I don't even know how many people went that year. I could probably find out, but it was a lot.
But you went first weekend, right? Because I know there's like two
Hmm.
weekends.
Yeah, so they recommend going the first weekend because the second weekend, a lot of the grass is already dead. So like everybody will like when they're dancing and jumping, they're kicking just dirt up.
Hmm.
And for like someone who has like bad allergies like I do, it was a pretty like beneficial to go the first weekend.
So I had a question because I don't know how it works. Do the same artists go the second week as well, or do they have like a different
Hmm.
lineup?
No, they have the same artist. Last year I kind of regretted going the first weekend because Kanye was doing his Sunday service the second weekend, and so he had like this. I remember there was videos of people and they were like, "No, he's not going," and then they see him building stuff, and you know how Kanye is. He's like super extravagant, very
Yeah.
show busy. And I saw the performance. I was like, "That's actually pretty cool." I kind of wish I would have went to that. So I mean, there are some surprises because everybody's schedule's already planned and different. Especially I think if you're at that like level of like celebrity status,
Yeah.
I imagine it's hard to just be like, oh, you know what? Let me change this. Let me move this performance to that because I want to go to Coachella. So I don't know. Would you ever go?
After seeing your videos and the experience you had, I definitely would. But
Yeah.
I do want to go to something I like. When I was looking at the lineup, I'm like, man, I don't know any of these people.
Hmm. That was. I mean, I feel like I went to a very big mainstream
Hmm.
because there was Juice World, Lizzo. Lizzo was. I don't think she was as big as she was until after Coachella.
Hmm.
I could be wrong. Lizzo was there. Turnovers is a very small band. That was the band I never expected to be there. And then of course
You
you have
got
like
Post, right?
hmm?
You ended up
Malone.
having, yeah, you had a Post Malone there.
No, no, he was on the previous year, but I would definitely go to one of his shows. Um, Let me see. I'm trying to think. Everybody else. I mean, there's a
You went
lot.
to Tigres del Norte, I remember.
Yes, dude. So the thing started like at 12 or 1, but I didn't get there till 3. But to me, like everybody else is getting there at the same time, so I felt kind of bad for like the openers
Hmm.
because not a lot of people were there. But like at 3 o'clock was like the perfect time to go because the lines weren't very long to get in. They did your bag check. They check your bags like 2 or 3 times actually, and then you finally get in, and it's just like it's like Disneyland, dude. Like you see all the amusements and all the sound, like everybody's screaming and yelling. And we make our way to the left side, and the first people that were playing, um, what was the song that I used to sing a lot? I can't even remember the song.
La Chona?
Yes, dude. Like they just well, they didn't open with that one. They did play that song twice, and it was just like this huge like block dance party. Like everybody was vibing out. We were all cool. Like I was even dancing. I was like, this is so much fun. I don't think there was any better way for me to like walk into Coachella. I don't think there. I mean, maybe if no, not even then. I think they were just perfect. Highly recommend. I even told some of my friends like I would go see them live at their own show. So I mean, if you're down to go to a baile, like let's go, Alex.
Gotta check my schedule real quick.
I wanted to talk about that trip to Riverbank,
Oh, yeah.
real quick. we saw like these little like Wally looking machine just cruising down, and I had to take like a double take because I was like, "What?" And I told Alex, "Did you see that? Like, there was like this little robot, like ice chest just on wheels, and that's pretty much what it looks like, an ice check on wheels." And the Modesto Bee wrote that Walmart partnered up with this company, and they're going to be doing like deliveries for people who make the delivery through the app. And I think they have like 22 bots. So I just want to read a little section. So once you place your order, the Save Mart employee pretty much bags it and puts it in the robot and sanitizes it. You can track its progress online, and once it arrives at you use the app to unlock the contents. And finally, the groceries can be delivered, and the machine is sent back to the store. If a robot detects human interference, it immediately pings a human remote operator who will take charge. A series of verbal messages will be delivered, which start very politely and become more demanding. If things get out of hand, each city where Starship operates has living, breathing representatives who can be dispatched to the robot's location to provide hands-on help. Isn't that kind of cool?
So Walmart is paying for
No,
Save
no,
Mart's
Save
grocery.
Mart.
Oh, you said Walmart at start.
Did I say
Yeah,
Walmart?
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
I
I
just
meant
want to double
Save
check.
Mart.
So Save
Sorry.
Mart's doing grocery deliveries.
Mm-hmm. And before I was reading, I was like, well, what happens if like people want to try and steal? Because we live in that type of world now where
Yeah,
people are like that. And so the fact that there's a human behind every robot, I mean, that's like creating more jobs for Modesto in a way too, and anywhere else at this place. So it'd be interesting this place. I mean, that company come to our area and see
yeah. But it'd be
what
kind of
goes
weird
down.
though, because our town's not that big. Can you just imagine them going like, where all the stop signs are at by my house,
Yeah,
and we're just stopping in the middle. Oh, you gotta let the robots pass by first.
gotta let the robot. And I kind of want to know, like, well, I think the little starship, I think yes, the starship is operated by human. So like it has, I was reading, it has like 20 cameras all
Hmm.
around it, so it could see everything, and so like it knows when it could cross the street, it knows when not to, and that's really cool. Do you
While
think
you were
that's good?
reading that, I was
Yeah, I was
like,
like, whoa.
I'll just imagine like someone's like, "Oh, sorry." It's like, "Oh, excuse me. Let me get out of your way, sir," or
Yeah,
like, "Can you get out
well,
of my way?"
I was reading more on it, and it said you can take pictures of it. You could kind of like talk to it,
Hmm.
but not to like stop it from getting to where it needs to go. There's people waiting on those groceries,
If
so I thought
if
that was like
I
super cool.
if we can find a picture, I'll probably upload it to the YouTube side,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
people could check it out. But for people who are listening to Spotify, just look it up. It looked like a little. Mike said at first he thought it was collecting trash.
Yeah, like I was like, what's that? But literally, it looks like a small ice chest on wheels. That's all it really looks like, and I don't know if it has eyes. I could be imagining stuff now, but we passed by it so quickly, and I thought that was so weird that I had to come back and look it up. And I was like, this is going to be discussed on on the podcast.
um, I do want to talk about, well, as you were speaking of food, kind of. What's a weird food combination you want to share with us that you like?
Like weird, but awfully
Yeah, yeah, but good,
surprising.
but good. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like, and it's like, man, people
Hmm.
may not eat this, but I like it. It's good.
That's a good question. Do you have one already so I can
No,
think about
no,
mine? No.
I don't.
Huh.
I don't think
Oh, you
I'm.
know what? All right.
You
So
got
my
one?
brother-in-law he is of Asian descent, and he makes egg rolls.
Hmm.
And these egg rolls are the bomb. I love them. And when I for I'm a picky person. And so as I was young, like when I was younger, I didn't eat egg rolls. I ate pizza, burgers, and hot dogs. That's all I ate. And growing up, I've learned to try foods, and egg rolls are something I actually really like. But it's not just any egg rolls; it's a special egg roll, and it's his egg rolls. And I don't know where I got this from. You get an egg roll, put some mustard on it. Yeah, my
Well,
family was like, "Where did you learn that?" I was like, "Mom, I thought this is what you told me to do one day, and I did it, and they taste amazing." And like that's how I eat it. And so like every now and then they'll see us eating, or they'll see me eating it, and they're like, "Let me try some." And they try. They're like, "No, it's not for me." So I mean, try it at your own risk. I
you
don't
like it?
recommend it. I like it. it's I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe because like what did I say?
Mustard,
Mustard, right? Yeah.
mustard on egg rolls. Yeah.
Yeah, mustard is kind of like tangy and sweet, and so like putting it on and then eating it with the egg roll makes it a little bit sweeter and tangier. I don't know, man. It's just how I eat my egg rolls.
The one thing I do, it's not. I don't know if it's weird or not, but I used to like like the tortilla chips. I used to like
Hmm.
eating those with ketchup.
Excuse me,
Yeah, yeah,
ketchup.
yeah.
Well, honestly, uh, if you've ever been poor and
Struggled.
struggle meals, I remember somebody had posted on Instagram like you've never been broke until you've had bread with ketchup or like a hot dog with just like the hot dog bun with just ketchup, nothing else in it, and you eat it. That's
Yep.
actually really surprisingly good. Like I don't like crave it, but I'm like, you know what? If I'm ever hungry, I'll have one of those one day.
You don't know struggle life until you've eaten bread with mayo, and that's it.
I can't do that one. Sorry, Chief. No, I
That's
can't do
struggle.
that
That's
one.
struggle life, man. You're like, oh man, we
Oh,
have no meat to put on here, no nothing, no weenies, no nothing. You're
I'm
like,
trying
well,
to think if there's anything crazy that I eat. I think that's probably the one that I get like the most reaction out of because people like eat it with the sweet and sour sauce or sriracha or garlic sriracha.
I
You don't
mean,
really expect people to eat it with mustard.
it's kind of the same thing though. It's just as tangy as all the other ones, right? Like sweet and sour.
It's a little sweet.
But yeah, well, but I mean, it's you still get like the same tanginess from mustard.
I think so. People just might not like it because it's.
Mustard.
I feel like it's yeah. It says mustard. It's not
People
like
don't
mixed
really
with
like
like
mustard.
garlic and ginger like all the other sauces are. So let me know if you ever do try it.
Um,
See how you like it.
Speaking on weird food, do you remember our weird stuff we used to make at work?
Mm, yeah. So I actually learned that from it was when me and some other my closing friends we would have this guy we'd be like, "Hey man, like we're hungry." So he'd be like, "I got you." And he would get like all the leftovers and just start like throwing them into a sandwich. Like one time I had a fish and chicken.
Ugh,
Like a
what?
yeah, it was like yeah, it was weird and he had like a bunch of sauces on it. Because at the time we had different sauces. We didn't have just ketchup mustard. Maybe we had like the wrap sauce, like the sweet chili one or whatever. Um, Surprisingly, a lot of them were good. I don't think I had one that wasn't good.
Hmm.
And so, like when I would hang out with you, making those were kind of like also like a little homage to somebody.
Yeah. Um. So I'll just say some of that we made. We used to make. Our job used to have tenders,
Mm.
and we would steam the bun. What would we put? Would we put any sauce on it?
So, well, because I like mayonnaise
I think.
on my
Yeah, I think we did.
for like my chicken sandwiches. So like it was a steamed bun with mayonnaise, two pickles, some lettuce sometimes, and then the chicken strips
Yeah.
fresh. That was a really good meal. And the other day I was actually craving that. Like, man, what I do to get my hands on that sandwich
We don't
again?
have tenders right now. That's the issue.
No. Are they completely out or
I don't know if it's just
discontinued?
because of COVID, but yeah, they don't have any right now.
Mm. Just what a shame. What a shame. All the recipes you could create with that.
I do remember one time I told Mike, I'm going to my break, and he was in the kitchen, and he's like, I was like, can you make me something to eat? And he's like, all right, go drop a hash brown and make a scrambled egg. And I'm
Yeah.
like, all right. And then while he's making a fresh quarter pounder, and then he's like, we're gonna make a breakfast burger, and it's like 5 in the afternoon already.
Nothing wrong with that. You loved it.
It was really good. We made the whole like regular quarter pounder, and then I put the egg and the hash brown on top, and then
And bacon. Bacon too.
oh yeah. But the way I saw Mike just like caressing this quarter pound, like dropping little drops of butter on it, like flipping
Oh
it.
yeah. The butter, dude. The butters you gotta have butter with your quarter pounder. I think I learned that from Ramsey.
Hmm.
I could be wrong, but dude, they came out so delicious and so like savory, man. I do miss when I could make my own burgers there.
uh, I don't know if you ever knew this, but when I used to open, all the opening ladies would
Hmm.
bring sometimes pitch in and make food there.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So it's just like, oh, you want tacos, or they'll make like burritos on the spot, and it's just like,
Yeah.
oh my god, it's like, I'm like, just one though. I want more.
I want more because they were good. I no, I had my sister used to say that she would come home and be like, "They made tortas today." I was like, "What? Today?" I mean, I was never really a morning person, so
But
it was always my
it was
fault.
like the day you were off. It's like
Yeah,
today.
the day that I was off, or like the I used to work a lot of 8 to 4s, so by the time I get home, my sister's already home, and we would talk about our day, and she's like, "Oh yeah, they made this, they made that." And I was like, "Oh, dude, that sounds so good. Like, why can't we do that?" I mean, we were only stuck with like making our own like little creations, but mm, some of them were actually really good.
Yeah,
That's probably the one thing I miss about that place.
I can't remember anymore. It's been a while.
One thing I do want to bring up in episode 2, you mentioned how TikTok united the world in a sense,
Hmm.
but before TikTok, for a brief moment, we had something else. Can you take a guess of what that was?
Vine,
No, no, not
an
like
app.
video, not yet. I mean, no, it is an app, but not like short clips. It was this
Mm.
company got so big they even partnered with McDonald's.
Uber.
No, Niantic, Pokemon Go. Do you
Oh.
remember that? Like everybody was Pokemon going and outside in the streets. People before they came out with like that safety update, people were like driving in cars and they would just be like Pokemon going like throughout the neighborhoods.
They're like, if I go at this speed, it thinks I'm walking, and I can see.
Yeah. Me and Sid, we walked all the way around my neighborhood. We went to the opposite side neighborhood
Hmm.
and we were just catching Pokemon left and right. And this car like pulls up hecka slow, and I was like, "What's he doing?" The guy rolls his window down. He's like, "Pokemon Go, yeah!" And just like burned out. We were like, "What the heck?" We're like, "Yeah."
We had the opposite side of it too. So, you know how we used to go to Merced,
Hmm.
the park. Um, we would walk around. You know, everyone. It was such a bunch of people when it first
Dude,
started.
so
But
many people at that park. I think I know what park you're talking about.
yeah, so and then one time, I just this dude out of like stupidness, he just like drives by. He's like, "What a bunch of nerds!" And it just drives by. I'm like, "Come on, man! Like at least we're not doing stupid stuff, you know?"
Yeah. When I learned about it, I became like a tester for the app,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like in beta before it got released to public. And me and another closer that I used to work with, we were slow, so like I just shut it down, and we were outside for like 30 minutes, just like catching Pokemon, like running around like idiots, like wow. And he's like, "Wait for me!" And I told him about the app, and he downloaded it, and we were just. It was probably like one of the most funnest days, like parts of the days over there.
Do you remember the where the bank's at next to that park that I just mentioned?
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
remember one time, um, I was out with my brother or someone else, but it was before you and me like really became friends, and I was going out after I was done working. So we would go out to Merced, and we would just like be like, "Hey, there's a Charmander over here, I think." And then we caught it, and then some kids like, "There's a Charmander over here," and you just
Yes,
see people just like rush. You're like, "Oh my god, let me get out of the way before I get trampled over here."
there was a Squirtle, I think, at that same park,
Mm-hmm.
but closer to like that big building on the opposite caddy corner to the park.
Yeah, yeah,
And I remember when like a rare Pokemon would come out, people would just like it was like a scene out of the World War Z, the zombie movie where all the like everybody just rushes, and I'm like, you guys need to be careful. There's like cars crossing. Like we need to obey the rules still. But man, like we were, I don't know, so many memories were created just from that app.
yeah.
You know, after closing, going to the park like at 2 or 3 in the morning, and we'd walk from a park to the, I don't want to say it, um, a memorial site
Yeah.
of our area, and we'd walk back and forth for like an hour or two to like 5, and then we'd be like, all right, guys, let's call it. But like, man, like
You
it was
don't see
fun.
people
The
doing
world
that
felt
now.
safer for a second because everybody was doing it, and yeah, it's sad that the app died. Like we got into it again maybe a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got into it, and we actually started going on the raids. We started meeting like other people, and some people were like already in their clique, so they don't want to like expand. And luckily, there was a really nice lady with her daughter and some other people. And she's like, "You guys want to raid with us? We're gonna go to the this spot." And we did, and our group started getting bigger too. It was us, my sister, brother-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
We met. I was able to reconnect with some like elementary friends. I didn't recognize them until like they came up to be like, "Hey, I'm this person." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember you." Like, so we started hanging out again, and it was fun. It was really fun,
Yeah,
especially like Chinese food after that.
the for people who don't know, the issue with when we started going out for raids is you need a certain amount of people if you want to like catch that Pokemon or just be able to take it
Rare
down.
Pokemon.
We
Hmm.
only had like 4 people, and people were already like in their little groups, and we're like, nah, we don't want any more people in. So we were like
Hmm.
very disappointed that day. We were like, man, like it was a special day to catch like very rare a type of Pokemon, and God bless her soul, this lady. Don't want to mention her name, but they like took us in and they had more people, and then we started getting to know the rest of the people around our area. But at the start, like people are really inclusive for some reason.
Yeah. Well, I think like the raids were like 20 max, but like he said, like we only had like four people,
Yeah,
or
we're like
like yeah, four, four, six maybe, and then eventually we got to like 12 and 15. We were able to like still
we we
do really
we
good.
had our own group already going.
Yeah. I wonder, like, it kind of just stopped out of like nowhere in a way because we were going consistently for like a few weeks, and then out
Hmm.
of like the blue, we just stopped going, and then people got busy. I think my brother-in-law and my sister actually started school too, so that could have taken a lot of their time.
But also happening with me, I remember I left early one time because I think I started full time closing too.
Mm,
So and Rays would be like from 4 to 7, and I had to go in like at 6.
yeah, good times, good
It
memories.
was really good fun.
Yeah.
I remember.
Uh,
Do you remember when the map came out and people were just like hunting certain Pokemon down?
yeah. Well, when I discovered the map, like it was still like at the very beginning, and they weren't really reliable.
Mm-hmm.
And then Niantic was like, "No
Shutting it
maps,"
down. Yeah,
so they shut them. They like literally shut that site down, and
I think they
it was
got
really
sued too.
probably I wouldn't doubt it, but it was really cool because like Pokemon Go like united a lot of us together, and then it also created like a lot of jobs, like a lot of YouTube channels like just
Yeah.
sprouted, and then the there was individuals around the world that would like have like you see pictures of them too. They're on the bike and they have like a whole like
I remember that.
array of like 20
Let me
phones and
get.
they're out here catching. Like I mean, I'm pretty sure those guys got paid pretty well too. I wonder if people still like raid and are
I'm
still
pretty
like
sure they
keeping up
do.
with that. It's a good
Especially
like kid
that
game.
that older gentleman that was around here. He was
Hmm.
really into it.
I don't see him on Discord anymore.
Oh, I left the Discord. I just don't bother with it because I'm not really into the game as I used to.
Hmm.
And like I don't know, it's the same situation where people don't really want people showing up for some reason.
Bro, do you remember we were driving around till like I
Oh, I
think
know
we
what you're
we
talking about.
started like at 7 and we didn't end till like 3 or 4 in the morning. We were looking for the special Ratata.
A Hoothoot.
It
We're
was a
looking
Hooters.
for a Ditto.
Oh yes, and we
It was like 3 nights in a row because you had like been on it for like a year.
yeah, and one of our other friends, JL, he was it JL or was it
Hmm.
Cheto? Dude,
It was
he
both of
like
them.
just casually, he's like, "Oh yeah, I just got one." We're like, "What?
We've
Like
been out here.
where?"
We've been out here for three
And
days.
literally, Alex like pulls a U-turn, drives up and down the street, and then we finally hit the sweet spot where we were able to pick up the Pokemon in the car. And honestly, I was like, "So what now?" But I mean, they obviously we had more tasks to do, but like that was a Pokemon I couldn't catch for like a year or two. Yeah, it
So
was
yeah,
fun.
there's challenges in the game to catch certain Pokemon at certain times.
Hmm.
I think Mike would catch them when he didn't need them, and then when he did need it, he had a hard time catching it.
Yeah, it was. I That's one thing I didn't like about it because like some Pokemon were very regional, so you'd actually
Oh
have to
yeah.
travel like to the Bay. And I think that's what we did too a few times. We traveled to the Bay
Oh
and we
yeah.
just Pokemon Go at the pier
In the
because I
pier.
had a lot of like water Pokemon. That's where I caught my Gyarados or like was able to evolve them. But I mean, sometimes I miss those days because like it was just like hanging out with your friends and doing like little tasks here and there, and then kind of like walking around. I don't think I ever walked more in my life than I did like when I was
Like,
Pokemon going.
yeah, I do remember be like, you know what? Should we call it now? My feet are starting to hurt. You're
Mm-hmm.
like, or you're like, nah, let's take it in the car now. Reset.
Well, like the last time you and I did it, we got burritos and we went back to that same park that used to be popping,
Mm-hmm.
and we were just walking around for like I don't know, maybe an hour, and it just felt dead.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I was gonna say like it just to see where it was like 2 years. Well, what is it now? Like 4 years ago now when the game came out.
2016.
Yeah, I think so. Cause I think it was when I started working at where we were at.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's been like 4 years now. And just to see how different everything looked, because you would see like families, like you wouldn't expect, like
Yeah,
people
dude.
past our age were like, what? But I
Yeah,
guess they kind
like
of grew up with it too.
yeah, surprisingly, like there was a lot of families that would go out on these raids or just like be hanging out. And didn't you get recognized?
But like
We
a
were at that
family,
park,
yeah,
yeah, and they were
yeah,
like, "Are you this username?" And then he's like, "Yeah." He's like, my kids see you," and they're like, "Oh, we know him." That was kind of cool. I don't think I've ever had that, but I never left my Pokemon at the gym.
Maybe now you have a podcast. Be like, are you Michael
No,
from A&M?
honestly, the only time I'd probably get recognized is I went on a hike in Bear Gulch Caves up in Hollister,
Mm-hmm.
and this wasn't supposed to be like a long hike, but we made it a long hike. And by long, there was like zero like shade, so we were exposed to the sun. It was an incline of like 5,000 feet, and we went up there. And surprisingly, at the top, at like this like Overwatch lookout type
Mm-hmm.
building, there was a Pokemon stop where you could leave your
Oh,
Pokemon. I think I left my. Who did I leave? I forgot who I left, but he was there for like 8 months. No one took him down until like eventually like
because no one wants to go up there.
well, like it was such a hard like hike, and then like it's kind of sketchy too because you have to like it seems like you're trespassing, but you're not. It's just the way that they have the border set up, and they say you have to go over like this like fence. You have to climb over it twice. You have to
Yeah,
climb over the first one, climb over the second one, and then you reach the top. And at the top, I thought there was like a ranger station. I was like, they'll have bathrooms and a water and some food because we had ran out of food or water
oh,
because my brother was so thirsty, and so we all were giving him. I gave him my water. I was like, "You're not dying on me." And so for like 3 miles of that trip, I didn't have any water, and I was like, "I need water." I remember coming down, like finishing the hike, and I got myself a big old water. I got myself an It's It ice cream, and just downed it. And I was like, "This is so delicious." I think I lost like 10 pounds on the hike. I'm not even kidding. I have it logged
damn.
on my fitness pal. It was a crazy hike. It was not fun.
I think the last hike I went to was Yosemite. I went up to Nevada Fall. Is that like the highest one? I think. Yeah,
I'm
because
not sure.
Vernal Fall was the first one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Vernal's the first one. Nevada's the second fall.
yeah. We went. The last one I went with Jill and one of my other friends.
You guys are
And
fast.
yeah, we kind of did it. So we got there like at 11. So people were already there. But we went. We said, oh, let's go to Vernal and see what we feel. So then we said, let's go up to Nevada, and we went to Nevada. And then I remember I started cramping on the way down. So like when I got to the car, I'm like, oh my god, there's no more pain than this, because
Yeah,
and we did it probably like, I don't know if this is a lot or a little, but we did the whole up and down in like 5 hours.
yeah. Because usually when I go, every time I've ever gone with a group of friends, like it always took us like 8 hours to go up, or no, 4 hours to go up and 4 hours to come down.
Hmm.
And I'm not sure if it was because we went in a group of like more than like two or three. We said like maybe 4 or 6 people, but we did. I've never been able to finish a hike. I mean, maybe now if I go with like you and JL, maybe yeah.
Oh, in this condition,
Hmm.
well, I'll do it, but I'll probably die
It
getting up there.
it's it's not that we can't do it. It's just we just need to
It'll take a
train a
while.
bit. It might take a while, but I'm pretty sure we can do it faster than 8 hours.
I do remember when we got up to Nevada, just the view, like we took it in for a good amount of time.
Hmm.
Just going all the way up there is really nice.
It's so nice, especially when you're up there. But then like you start thinking like, man, I gotta go down, and
Yeah.
then like your knees are gonna get wrecked.
You're like, oh, I think I
Well,
tripped on the way down. I didn't fall. I like tripped, and I'm like,
uh,
oh, I'm like, is this a sign I'm gonna die?
I'll save a story for another podcast, or like the next episode. But I had an experience where like I felt like I was falling in slow motion. It wasn't at Yosemite; it was actually a Mission Peak.
Hmm.
But like I said, I'll talk about it another day. We're talking more about hikes. One question I want to get to before we end is one of your segments called Deep Thoughts.
Deep thoughts.
And I saw this somewhere a long time ago, and I remembered it yesterday. And but what if when you die, the light you see is actually you being born somewhere
Mm,
else, and you're crying because you just saw your whole life flash before you?
I remember seeing this. This.
What do you think about that?
I thought it was very thought provoking,
Mm-hmm.
and you. I don't know. It's also it's that thing where you're like, well, what if you know, how do I say this? Because sometimes I feel like even animals have human
Mm-hmm.
spirits in them.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you've seen, not to deviate too much, but I don't know if you've seen like animals like look at like war stuff and they're just like staring at it and they're like,
Like,
oh man, that man was a war veteran.
yeah,
And I felt
yeah.
bad. But I don't know, like, it's so thought provoking. Because what if it is true? I mean, we would probably never know.
I
With
feel like when you, and I'm not trying to like bring faith and religion, but like on a more science type look at it, it's like energy is never like you can't just,
create or destroy it.
yeah. So like energy is technically recycled. So when I think of it like that, I'm like, well, it is possible that we could be like if we do die, then we go somewhere else. Like it could be another human body or another like. What if you're a plant, bro? Can you imagine just like
My mom
your
lets
whole
plants die
life?
all the time, so I'm good.
Oh man.
I'm gonna die. Mom, please
Like,
revive me.
just take me out. Take me out now.
That
that,
Can I get
that
one
was
more question in before we
yeah, of
leave?
course. Of course.
Kind of on the same thing.
Hmm.
Why do you think we dream as humans? Because I've heard a theory, kind of the same thing that you were going on, that it was our past life and we're or our future life that we're seeing, and that's the only way we could communicate with our lives.
I read something like that too, but it was saying that dreaming is a way to look into a parallel universe or like
Mm,
another side of us, and I was like, oh, that'd be cool. Um, but I'm not sure because we don't understand dreams. Like technically, like we don't really understand why they happen, how long they happen for. And I think maybe now we can actually detect when we're dreaming, and I mean, because I saw it on a movie, so it has to be true, right? Nightmare on Elm Street. But it would be it'd be crazy to think that a dream is the way we communicate with like the
ourselves.
past or the future or ourselves. And it is a way that we connect with ourselves. It's like technically our subconscious. Um, man, that's a good question.
I just
Go ahead.
don't want to know why we can't run fast in our dreams.
Red fast? What do you mean?
Have you ever been in a dream when you're running, you can't seem to get away whatever you're running from, or like run
No.
fast? No. Next time you
Uh,
dream about running, take in mind how slow you're running.
no, I don't think I've actually had like one time I remember dreaming I was at my grandma's and there was like a pack of wolves and they attacked me, but like I wasn't just seeing it from like the first person. I was able to get out of my body and like float above my body and see like they were attacking me, and I was like,
Oh,
like
you're
what's
dead.
going on? Like
No, you
no, like
died, man.
maybe I did die
You're
in my
dead.
dream. I got inception. Uh, have you ever had those dreams where you fall or
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
the ones that I hate? And I'm actually glad someone else posted this on. I think it was on Facebook. It was a video. It's like those dreams where like the hills or like the roads are just wildly like they go straight up into the clouds, and then they do like this huge drop. Have you ever had that dream before?
No, I thought you were talking about like when you like fall, and then it's because your body's about to fall off the bed, type of
No,
thing.
no, no. Like one time I remember I was dreaming, and I was with my cousin, and she was driving, and we go up this huge hill, like up into the clouds, and we come back down. And on the way down, you could see like the whole road, you could see the land, like everything. And I remember we drove, and like the gut of being dropped,
Hmm.
like entered my gut, and I was like,
Even in
and
your dream.
even in my dream. And I remember waking up, I was like, I'm not waking up, but I remember in my sleep, I was very tense, and I remember jumping off like a cliff,
Hmm.
and then getting back on the road and jumping off the cliff again. And I think I looked it up and it said something was stressing me out, but I don't know. I'm not a
Do you
clinical or
do you believe in those? Like, my mom. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the Mexican side of her. They're very
mm-hmm,
superstitious. They would buy dream books, like what is the meaning of these dreams,
mm-hmm.
and depending on even what color or what size something was, would dictate like what it meant to you.
I do feel like dreams do have meanings, and like because I think, like I said, like it's part of our subconscious trying to communicate with us, kind of like to get your
Attention.
to get personal. No, just to get like personal with yourself.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, I guess like, yeah, attention. Like, hey, there's something going on in your life that you need to address, and dreams are a way for us to acknowledge it, even if we don't want to acknowledge it. Bad dreams are the worst. I feel
Oh
I've
yeah.
had a lot of bad dreams. Especially the ones that like you wake up crying because they felt so real. I remember one time I
Oh
thought
yes.
one of my family members died, and I woke up and I started crying. I was like, I'm not ready for that individual to go on. And I went to that person. I was like, I had a dream about you, and I didn't like it, and I gave them the biggest hug of my life. So I hate those dreams that like feel real to you.
Well, I did have one experience just before you go.
Hmm.
My uncle had just passed, and I don't know why, but I took a nap, and I had him in my dream, and in my whole time I'm thinking, oh, I wasn't home. I took a nap like in my car somewhere. I don't know why. And I woke up and I said, oh, I'm gonna go home and go see my uncle. My uncle's at my house because he would always visit.
Hmm.
But then like uh, I stopped for like I was driving home and then I stopped. I'm like, wait, my uncle just passed away. So like I messaged my brother. I was like, man, like this is probably like me getting somewhat closure from my uncle.
Hmm.
But it still kind of sucked. I was like after realizing that he wasn't here with us anymore. That type of
Yeah,
thing.
and that's also like the reality of like when someone or even like a pet
Yeah.
isn't here with us anymore. It's kind of like unreal, and sometimes like it's out of the blue. Like I don't know if how was your experience with your uncle, like kind of rapid, like it just kind of happened.
Yeah. So not to give too much away, I so with my uncle, you always had to give him a firm handshake and stuff
Hmm.
to be like, hey, how's it going and stuff. And then in my dream, I told my mom because he was talking to my mom like how he always would be in the living room, and I'm like, man, you're here, like let's throw a party. But then I told my mom about the dream too. That after I told them let's do a party, I kept looking everywhere for him and I couldn't find him. So no matter how hard I looked, he wasn't there. Which was I don't know. I even messaged my cousin whose dad that was.
Hmm.
I was like, I think I just got closure with your dad through this stream.
That's good. Well, at least you got like I said, at least you got like that feeling of closure. And I think I've been kind of talking down on dreams, but like if you have an experience like that, like definitely keep it with you. I'm pretty sure it's gonna stick with you for a
Oh,
long time.
I still remember like I'm probably that's the only dream I remember so vividly.
That's good. Keep it with you. Don't lose it. Keep it with you forever. Because the dreams that I remember are like the ones that I hate to
You
remember.
have hills.
Yeah, hills and all that good stuff. So we're reaching towards the end of our podcast episode today, and we'd like to give a shout out to JL, who's he's our first submission, and he asked us, "What does the term legacy mean to you?"
Hmm.
Let you go ahead first.
I think it's what people will remember you by pretty much. Like when they say Alex, what well, don't want to give out my full name, but what will they think when they think of me kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or like same thing or just going on with my uncle like how I remember him, like I remember him as a loving man and being so caring with all of us and so kind. So that legacy is gonna be with us, my whole family forever, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or the other thing of just being, I don't know if you want to say like famous, but just that whole feeling of importance that comes with being
Yeah.
that person, that whole legacy issue.
Yeah, I was about to say same. Like, I feel like necessarily doesn't have to be celebrity, and it doesn't have to be like activist. It's just like the impact that you leave on people
Right.
and how they interpret it is a good way. I think I define legacy. Um, were you done talking about yours?
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
I
No,
didn't mean
no,
to
no,
interrupt.
you're good.
I think I agree with you like 100%. I feel like you don't need to be someone who's like, Kanye, but I feel like what you do in your life and how you do it and how it affects people, because every decision and every action that you take, it has a consequence no matter what. It's going to affect either yourself or something or someone. And, it's, we want to live in a perfect world where things are positive, but we're in a dark time, I feel. And I think it's important for all of us to be more positive with each other. That's just who I am. I'm just someone who thinks like, and especially in the field that I work at, like I want to help people. I don't want to hurt them and stuff. But legacy means to me is what Alex said, the best way to put it, because like you pretty much took my words. You take my words.
It's just the impact you're gonna leave on someone
Yeah, and
and
yeah, totally 100% agree. All right, man. Do you have anything else you want to add?
nope. But I'm excited for another one and a
Are you
new
excited?
video one.
A new video, yeah. A couple times, I think my stomach growled. Like I saw on Discord that my stomach had growled and like my little picture had lit up green. I was like, oh, people are fucking think that's a fart or something. So hopefully these are all unedited and you could get to hear and see us, and hopefully it changes the interaction. If you guys have any questions like JL did, or submissions, or if you guys want to add stories to places that you worked at or some of your favorite road trips, let us know on Twitter and Instagram, or even just messaging me. Some of you already know who we are. Feel free to go ahead and submit whatever you got to us.
And guys, don't be scared to share this around. Like we, more interaction, the better with us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do want to be really interactive. So, like Alex said, like don't be scared. Like if you want to share this with your friends, more for the people that know us on a personal level. Um, don't be scared to like share it with people. I'm okay with it. Alex is okay with it. We did this knowing that this might be shared to like people that don't agree with the things that we have to say, or just might not like us. So I mean, it's okay. We do what you got to do.
Also, if you want to keep submissions anonymous, we can't do that. We don't. We always ask if people want their name shouted
Yeah, we'll
out or anything
always. Yeah, the only person that gets a nickname is Sid.
until we get permission.
Until we get permission. Hopefully, like I said, we do have one guest planned next week, maybe possibly this week, but I see it more happening next week.
Yeah.
And eventually, after that, we'll have to get people. We have to get more information from people who want to be on the show and kind of want to join us and talk with us. And who knows, maybe one of the guests might become a recurring guest where they're there, 1 or 2 times a week, or maybe all the time. You never know what could come out of this. You have anything else?
Just huge thanks, guys. And pretty much it. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of
Thank you.
support and feedback.
It's it's been wild. Like I don't. We're both completely shocked, because like I said, we didn't expect this to grow as big as it has, and it's wild to see it just constantly growing. Like I go to bed and I wake up the next morning, I'm like, oh my god, Alex! I always snap him like, bro, did you see this? That like, so it's super cool. All
Nothing
good.
from me. Nothing from me.
Nothing for me. All right, guys. This is Motel A&M signing off. Michael, laters.